Hey guys, welcome to Wednesday night with Unbiased Rugby. So, quite a few things to discuss this evening. So, we're going to talk about the Lion series, the way I saw the series, what I was happy about it, what made me a little bit sad, players that I really enjoyed, and then just go through some general news of what's happening out there in the big bad world. And so let me put my first banner up here. So Springboks win Lion series. Hey, FNTSG. Yeah, I'm super stoked that I'm actually going to try something. I've never done this before. There we go. I'm still learning how to use this new program. So yes, Springboks win the Lion series. So Springboks win the game 19-16 on the weekend. I didn't watch it live again. I couldn't. I didn't want to. It took me about 2 hours before I looked at my mobile and I got the score and I thought, oh, okay. And I saw the score in the 19-16 and I went, oh, shit. I was super happy. And then I watched the game and pretty poetic that Morne Steyn gets the last evening Stefano 86, and so it was pretty fitting that 12 years after him slotting the winning penalty, he does it again. Hats off to Morne Steyn. Plus he's a Bulls player, so gotta love the dude. I'm pretty happy that we won. I'm gonna be completely honest about that. But I'm mainly going to talk about the series. I've been reading up a lot of pundits and I've been watching a lot of shows, and a lot of it was very derogatory over the weekend and it was quite hard to read and quite hard to listen to because it was all very, very negative about South African rugby, and I was going to get really into responding and stuff like that, and I thought, you know what, let me just sleep on it for a while, and then I got to relax. So I've got a few thoughts about pundits out there, and some that I really so sad the series is over. I'm actually quite sad the series is over. I really am. Let me put that up so everyone can see. I'm so sad the series is over. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'll be honest. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say it was the greatest. It was the greatest rugby in the entire world. I'm not gonna say anything like that. But it was true test rugby. That's what I can say. Do I think the best team won? Sure, that's a difficult one. I think the Lions had every single opportunity to take that series, and they could have easily won that last game if one pass went through from the Welsh winger, fullback. I really rate him as a player. So if that pass had gone through to Robbie Henshaw, then it would be completely different. We play our game. Lions play how they want. Let me put that up so everyone can actually see it. Play game. Lions play how they want to play. They got it wrong, not South Africa. I just think it was their series to take, and they could have. That's it. They could have easily taken that last game. It was just seriously missed opportunities. Seriously, I'm pretty old school when it comes to penalties. Maybe it's my South African blood in me, but when penalties are there, I always go for points. The only time you don't go for points is if you're chasing the game, and if you want to always have scoreboard pressure, you always go for points. That's just me. I'm not saying that that's the right or wrong way. I know New Zealand don't play like that. I know when you've got a bit of dominance and you're playing forward, you make decisions in the moment, and you've got to live and die by them. And so, but yeah, for me it was I'm always been a big believer in taking the points. But let's put up another banner here. And we say thoughts on the series. So, considering how the series started, we've got COVID. South Africa hasn't played. Everyone was in a bubble, no crowds. So the only thing that you could focus in on was the actual quality of the rugby. Let me put this. I think the best team did win. Lions only scored 2 tries in the series. Our defense was incredible. I agree with you there, FNT, TSG. But if I look at everything that was around it, and I think the biggest thing was obviously not having any crowds, because you think you take that first, the opening, almost the first tackle by Laconia Arm on Elliot Daly, that you can imagine 55, 60,000 people seeing that tackle. It would have created the atmosphere for the entire series. So I think focusing in on the rugby, which the quality could be a little bit better, but we wouldn't have noticed it as much if there was a crowd, if there wasn't such toxicity off the field. It would have been, I think we would have enjoyed the series a little bit better. I think having a crowd is a big thing. Look, I bought tickets. I didn't have tickets for the main games. I only got to watch the Stormers. Let me put this up there. Lions had their chances, even if the situation would look to be a try. It's not. Poor play by the Lions lost it for them. SA were their brutal best. I'm going to come back to what the pundits have been saying. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the series. I didn't enjoy what happened off the field. And I felt the toxicity, but you always feel when you watch the Springboks play the All Blacks, or you watch certain teams play other teams, and you can see that they go hammer and tongs on the field, and you can see that after the game that they go have a beer together, and they've got that All Black thing where they have in the sheds, and you see the players interacting. And yes, I know it's probably a COVID bubble, but both of them were in bubbles. And it just didn't feel like there was that kind of interaction between the teams. It just seemed like pure absolute hatred, and that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, I'm super happy that South Africa won. Let me put this up here. Played well, played a game, 18 months COVID outbreak. Look, and now I'm going to come to the pundits. I'm going to talk specifically about, there's a certain pundit that writes for Rugby Pass, and there's another one that on Off the Ball in Ireland who like super derogatory towards South Africa. And I'm not going to mention names because that's not my place. And they've really got just negative things to say about the way that we play. I was watching. There was another Off the Ball interview today with really Irish ex-Irish prop Ken Williams, not Ken Williams, Keith. Somebody will remember the name, and he was saying that South Africa haven't really changed the way that we play. We play the way that we play. There are some outstanding individual rounds, and Benambi, Piers Teft, Toy briefly, and credit for playing as well as I did in the circumstances. And he was saying South Africa, Keith Woods, that's it. South Africa have always played this way. It's not like anything's changed since ~95. This is the way we play. This is how we win. This is how we apply pressure. We work up other people's mistakes. We always have a very, very good kicker. So we take the points when they're on offer, and we believe in scoreboard pressure. That's how we play. We don't play on our own field. If at all, if we generally don't play. We try to slow down the game, but that's the way we play. We did try before Rassie, with the previous coach and the coach before that. We started trying to play a more expansive kind of game. We happened to lose 57-0, and we lost to Ireland 32-3. So it just didn't seem to. It just doesn't fit into our DNA. It just doesn't. It doesn't fit. I think what made this tour specifically was that both teams seem to want to play the same tactic, and I don't know what. I've got a lot of respect for Catlin, but I don't know why he tried to out Springbok the Springboks. when Finn Russell came on, I was so disappointed that he was injured and he couldn't have played those first 2 games, because he just brings something different. Playing to the edges, keep running the pack around. That's how, for me personally, that's how the Lions should have been playing. But yeah, let me put it down here. If you follow part of the hangout after the 3rd game, it looked like they enjoyed each other. Oh, okay, excellent. Then I'm happy. I'll be honest, guys. I'm not very big into social media, so I have an Instagram account, but I think I've been there once or twice. Actually, I went there today to actually go get some pictures that I've actually got to show you guys that are actually quite funny. I'm not throwing salt in the wound, but they were just really funny to watch. So yeah, actually, I'm going to show one. I might as well just show one. Let's put one up here. And this was on Rugby Pass's Instagram. Let me just share the screen here. So this was on Rugby Pass's Instagram, like super funny. So yeah, this is the new Doritos flavor that is in South Africa. Then the next one, which is just as funny, says date nights in South Africa. So so I thought that was also pretty, like, really good. And then the last one, which my dad actually sent to me, and because we always say that we play boring rugby, and so he sent me this message. He says, New Zealand, the gold standard in thrilling, attractive rugby, scored 66 points against the Lions in 2017 and could only draw. Boring old South Africa scored 65 points against the Lions in 2021 and won. I'm sure that extra 1 point New Zealand scored in 2017 was stunning. So yeah, that was from my old man. So yeah, I thought those were quite funny, and I thought I'll just share it with you. Hey, Georgie. George, I've got to tell you guys, George is an old friend of mine. We've known each other since we were about 13, maybe 14, 15. We went to school together, so a hell of a long time. So welcome, George. So yeah, thoughts on the series. I'm glad we won. I'm gutted for the Lions. The Lions had it in the bag. They could have easily won that game if it wasn't for Curry doing some strange things. I think the game plan was a little bit off. And yeah, let me put this up. Oh, shit, what have I done? Let me put this up here. Yes, Gatland's mistake was to try to replicate the Rugby World Cup. I think Gatland and Rassie must have this kind of, I don't know what you call it. You call it, not a rivalry, but Gatland just felt like he had to out Rassie. I don't know what it is. I think, but yeah, coming back to what Rassie did, I think they were talking about today, obviously having a hefty fine, which I agree upon. I agree he should have a hefty fine, and then they obviously want to ban him from the stadium for a few matches. I'm not a big fan of that because that seems to be punishing South Africa and actually not punishing Rassie Erasmus. So that's for me. I can understand, when a player also gets banned. Yeah, he does get banned. But yeah, let's see what happens. I reckon it'll probably be about 50 to £100,000 fine. I reckon it'll be about that much. I'm sure the South Africans have a GoFundMe account somewhere started up in Rassie, or maybe Rassie will get money from the lotto in South Africa, because yeah, I think Rassie probably walks on water here. And Rassie would trust. So yeah, let's see how that pans out. But yeah, let me go to the next one, the banners. Let's see. Players of the series. My player of the series. Actually, I'm going to talk about a few players. I'm going to say both 13s from both sides, Lukanya Arm and Henshaw. I think it's Henshaw, isn't it? Sorry, guys. I think it's Henshaw, Robbie Henshaw. He's reportedly only going to be banned 2 to 4 games. Not a big deal. Okay. So my players of the series were both 13s. I thought both 13s played extremely well. So, but I still rate Lukhanyo Arm. I think he's only 28 tests or 29 tests. The 13 channel for South Africa is absolutely sublime. Just put this. If Reliance Obvious lesson was learned that if you select players from the team that got hammered in the Rugby World Cup, finished 5th in the Six Nations, how can you expect to beat the Boks? Yeah, it's. I think, I always feel coaches, like these high-end coaches, top-end coaches, they probably have one World Cup cycle in them, and I think Warren Gatland was probably one series too far. I'm trying to think who would take his position. Who's the Crusaders coach? Yeah, but I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to wait until he can get into the New Zealand frame. And I think it was. I think they probably should have had a different coach for this. Because what I didn't understand is they bought Scotland's coach for attacking prowess, but there just didn't seem to be that kind of attack moves and stuff like it. Scott Robinson, but I don't see it. Scott Robinson would be the perfect choice, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to start going into the New Zealand system, and we'll see. Depending on how the current New Zealand coach does, we'll see what happens with Scott Robinson. But yeah, I think he's got too much RP for New Zealand to let him go overseas, or maybe he should go overseas to go. But yeah, I don't see that happening. Wayne or Eddie said he is not interested. Eddie Jones, obviously with England, I think it'd probably be Gregory. I really do. Wayne Pivac might be Lions coach. Oh, that's also a good option. FNTSG. Let me just remove this quickly. So yeah, my backs both 13s, but I think Lukhanyo outdid it. I think see someone put there Franco Mostert, FNTSG, his player of the series with Mornay Steyn. Mornay Steyn had that big moment. So one big moment. I'd say for the forwards, I'd probably say, besides the first game, but I think from a physicality point of view, I think Eben Etzebeth finally stepped up. I think he really did. But yeah, Franco Mostert's a real engine. We'll see what happens with Peter Steph du Toit now being injured. I'm just trying to. No one really stood out in South Africa. Well, yeah, they stood out, but it's like what I think South Africa did right over the 3 games is consistency. Consistency in selection, consistency at back row. The only time that we had changes was enforced changes. So obviously from injuries with Ox and I can't remember who got injured. Then obviously Faf and then Peter Steph du Toit. So I think consistency in the back line, the back row didn't change. Our centre pairing didn't change. So got Damon Delende, Lukhanyo Arm, and I think from a selection point of view, from that consistency kind of point of view, it showed a lot of faith from the coach in the players. Week in and week out, you can build on that. You can build when you know that the players around you are going to be the same. So yeah, literally there was one change in the back row in the 3 games, and that was a forced change for Reinach for Faf de Klerk. And I think that was one of the big differences between the 2 sides. So yeah, forwards, I can't pick out. I thought Tite Furlong had an okay series, but obviously going up against the Ginger Ninja would have been, that's tough. Let's be honest. You can't. You've got to be on your toes when you go up against Steven Kitshoff. So I think there was a lot of parity there. But yeah, it's just the problem was that no one could really stand out in the Lions because it just seemed to change so much. Moro Toji, I think, is an excellent player. I actually got some stats here, guys. I actually put it on a different sheet over here. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit, yeah? Because I was looking at possession 63 to the Lions, 37 to South Africa. I think the penalty count was the big thing in the end, 15 to 12. But yeah, mostly if I looked at these stats and I didn't see the score, I would have thought the Lions had won. I'll be honest. South Africa, 55 passes. 55 passes. That's atrocious. Whereas 119 for the Lions, 62 runs for South Africa, 108 runs for the Lions. So yeah, that's absolutely atrocious. And I've actually got the New Zealand Australia game, and it's like chalk and cheese, So like 210 to 253 meters in the South African game. So we're talking that's 463 meters in that game, and in the other one we're talking 780. So that's literally chalk and cheese between the two games. You say the New Zealand Australia game that's pure meters running rugby, and the other one was it's telling. It is telling about how much rugby was actually played between the Springboks and the Lions. What's next on my agenda? Let's see what's going on. So yeah, guys, I'm not gonna. I think the Lions are done and dusted now. As no Lion could dominate Mbonambi. I think very, very few players can dominate Mbonambi. I think, for the home nations, you get to see the Lions every 4 years. As a Springbok supporter, you only get to see them every 12 years. So it's generally a much bigger thing for us than maybe it is for you guys up north. Because we just don't get to see them, and to have a tour that was so disrupted and so everything, it was great that it happened, and it's great that there's money coming in. It just seems like we were all shortchanged just a little bit, the north and the south, from a spectacle that, like, I remember watching in the 2017, watching the Lions playing the All Blacks, and that series was amazing. It was really edge of your seat kind of stuff, and there were big crowds and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we were, and I've got to wait another 12 years. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe I can convince my wife and go visit her friends in Australia, and we can maybe go watch a Lions game there. But yeah, next thing on my list here, what have I got here? Let's talk about. Okay, I'm going to talk about the All Blacks Wallabies game. Looking at the stats and the territory and things like that, there's very, 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 very little difference between the two sides. Very, very little difference. I didn't think the Wallabies would do as well as they did. I didn't. New Zealand have always been like the gold standard when it comes to what quality rugby, what a team's supposed to look like, what a good rugby side's supposed to look like. And I didn't think the Wallabies would do as well as they did. And if they'd got all their kicks over, I think they would have actually won that game. Because if I look down here, I was looking at 18 penalties by the All Blacks. And problem with 18 penalties, and 18 penalties is a lot, just by Brady Retallick, is that a side like England, Ireland, Wales, they're going to punish a side if it has 18 penalties. And even the mighty All Blacks, who can probably have 18 penalties and still win a game, are going to will really battle to try get some go forward ball with 18 penalties. That's 9 on average, 9.5. That's 1 every 5 minutes, essentially, or 1 every 4 minutes. Tom Banks is the most experienced with 10 caps. It's nice, David, because my absolute favorite player, one of my favorite players of all time, is actually coming back. Let me put the picture up here. So we've got Sami Karevi coming back to play in Australia. So I think Dave Rennie's been given the opportunity to have two essentially marquee kind of players. I would have gone for Skelton, but he's actually taken that young guy. I think he's playing at 13. But Sama Karevi is an absolute. When Australia lost him, I just thought, what the hell is Australia doing? I really thought that it was probably their best player. He got go forward ball. He understands space, and he literally he's a superb player. I don't know what his skill level is now because he's obviously been playing in Japan, but yeah, one of my absolute all-time favorite players. And he's going to be back. I don't know if he'll play this weekend, but I'm sure he'll probably play some part in the rugby championship. But yeah, one thing I like about Australia, it's a young side. I think only one of their players in the back line had double caps. And if I look at what the firepower that New Zealand have with Aaron Smith, Richie Mo'unga, Antonetta Brown, Havili, who's still fairly inexperienced, Mackenzie, who's a sublime player, then Sivaris, and I can't remember who played on the other wing on the weekend. And I just thought that New Zealand just have so much firepower, and I was just very, very impressed that the way that the Wallabies played. I think Dave Rennie is creating something a little bit special there with the team, and I think they're a team to watch. Not for now, and I don't think maybe for next year, but I think in the World Cup, I think they're gonna have a good run, a good go at it. It sounds like they're starting to sort out their structures. I'm not saying that at a Super Rugby level that the same level as the New Zealanders. I agree, David. I think I'm actually put that on the show here. The All Blacks are missing a settled centre combo. One of my favourite players that play is ALB, Antonetta Brown. I think he's an extremely good 13. Probably one really good utility kind of back that they have, and they just don't have, like, if you look at, you got I'm actually going to talk South Africa now, so you got Damian Delende Lukanya Arm. Now you know that's your first choice centre pairing. You know it. There's no ifs, ands or buts. That's your first choice centre pairing. And I'm trying to think if New Zealand have a first choice centre pairing. I know the problem is that they have so many options. Would they play? Let's see, Rico plays at third. Rico Ioane plays at third. Rico played on wing. Sorry, and that's my one concern is the pairing, the centre pairing, and the problem that they have is they've just got so many good players that it's difficult. And what kind of style do you think they're going to want to kind of play? Do they want to play a basher, like a Mo'unga, not Mo'unga, like a Damon Delende kind of player, or a Esterhazen, like a Jack Goodhue or something like that? Do they want to have a real ball crashing 12, which they've traditionally had a really good ball crashing 12, and then a playmaker kind of 13? So yeah, I think that's a concern. Then how many Barretts can you fit on the field at the same time? Nanu, that's it. And but Nanu was good because he had Conrad Smith. So it's that's your centre pairing. A centre pairing is a centre pairing. It's not. It's one feeds off the other. You know. So I agree with you, David. I think that's a real concern. I also think at their loose trio, I still don't think they've got the combination right. I think they have the players, though. I think they have the players to actually get that their back row sorted out. Prop wise, I think with Owen Frank's gone, I still have what's it? Who's their tight head at the moment? Ofa Tungafasi. I think he's good. Seems something off with the ABs. Look, I'll be honest, guys. There's three teams I support essentially in world rugby. I support obviously the Boks. Everyone knows that. I support the Boks, and then I support any game that the All Blacks are playing. My whole family are All Black supporters. Well, not my direct blood family, but on Joanne's side, and Ireland. Those are my three teams that I support. The reason why Ireland is because there's always been really great. I've always had really great Irish followers, and they've been really interactive on the channel. And I've really got into the side, and I've really got to learn how they play. So like a Keenan Doris, who I think is a real player for the future. So it's just those are the three teams that I support. So yeah. So when I talk to ABs, it's probably the team that I know the most of, because I follow them as closely as I watch the Boks. So yeah, I think there's something off with the ABs. I'm not actually. I don't want to say what it is, but I've never been a huge big fan of John Plumtree. I'm not saying that he's a bad coach or anything. I just feel that every single side that he coaches, there's a discipline issue. So at the Hurricanes, there was a discipline issue. When he was at the Sharks, there was a discipline issue. So he brings out the worst in the kind of player that could be the worst, like a Dane Coles. Like he can be an aggressive player, and he can give up penalties and things like that. And I just think that that's what he does. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying he's a bad coach or anything like that. I've been following his career for some time, and it just feels like every single team that he's coached has had a discipline issue. And 18 penalties on the weekend shows that there's something not 100% right. So yeah, especially Brody Retallick with 4. So yeah, coming to this weekend, it's a tough one. I think they're playing in Eden Park again. I think the All Blacks probably be a lot better than what they were. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game, at least 20, 30 points. I'm hoping it's not a runaway game. Yeah, and he's not happy with the coaching setup at all. Fleshen, I just think there's been a real drop-off in the coaching from 2011 to 2015 to now. I can understand having continuity. I can understand that kind of thing, but sometimes a thought pattern can become quite stale. Like in South Africa, we went from Peter de Villiers to who was the next one? Oh, jeepers! I liked him at the Bulls, but I didn't like him as South African coach. And then we went into the real dark days of South African rugby, because we wanted this continuity from one to the next, and we needed a completely new, freshen up of our whole system. But I was listening to somebody else, Heineke, that's it. I was listening to somebody else the other day, and they're talking about, New Zealand. Let's be honest, New Zealand went through. They probably had 10 years of absolute dominance, an 85% win ratio. But look at the players that they had. From Jerome Kamo to Owen Frankson, he wasn't there all the time. Brady Retallick came at the end. Richie McCaw, Kieran Reid. The list goes on. Ben Smith at fullback, Dan Carter. And then you've got Bowden Barrett coming off the bench. So you had these 10 years of absolutely sublime players. You talk, sometimes a team could be lucky to have one or two world-class players. Like South Africa's got Peter Steff, and we've got Ches and Colby, and we're fortunate. And then in those 10 years, New Zealand must have had 4, 5, maybe 6 of the best players in the world playing. So it's not easy to. I'm not saying it's easy to win international rugby, but it's quite easy to have continuity when you've got players that are professional, that are the best of the best of the best, and Steve Hansen could take it over. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think we'll see what happens. But let's be honest, even a New Zealand side that is a little bit wounded is probably the hardest team to beat in the world. So yeah, give respect where respect is due. So yeah, I don't want to take up much more of everyone's time. I was going to talk about the Springboks versus Argentina. I've actually got the team sheet here. So obviously, wholesale changes across the board. I'm a little bit concerned that might show a little bit of disrespect to Argentina, which I don't want to happen, because Argentina are a really good side. But some of the players that they've brought in are seriously good. So I like Volkalo, Oxenchair, I'm glad he's back. Dweba, I've always thought he was a great player, even when he played for the Cheetahs. Loose trio, look, that's a lock pairing of brilliant lock pairing. The loose trio, I think the jury's still out on Visa. I do think he is the right player for the future. And I just think he needs game time, and I think he needs game time against, like, the Lions are the pinnacle of Northern Hemisphere rugby. So it's going to be really, really difficult. So I think Visa's going to get an opportunity now, get Argentina, get Australia, get New Zealand, and obviously really get into the swing of things. Coming to the back line, Elton Yankees. So we're going to be playing attack rugby. Like the fact that they're sticking with Visa. I do like the fact, David, that they're sticking with Visa. I don't think he had the greatest of series, but the one thing I did like about him was he always was working. You know, he always was up. He always was going for it. He may have made mistakes, but you know, those are big. Dwayne's boots are pretty big boots to fill. Let's be completely honest. Steyn Creel, that's probably our next centre pairing. And the nice thing about that is they pretty much follow the mould of Damon and Lucanio. I said basically follow the mould, not 100%. Sabu Nkosi, who I think from the first day he played international rugby, it seemed like that's where he was supposed to be. Fossey is... I still predict he'll be our next Chesson Colby. I really do think he'll be our next Chesson Colby. The guy I think he has even more speed. I think he might even have more speed than Chesson Colby, and I think he has a really decent boot. And I think he's the player to watch here. I think we've gone for a traditional 6-2 split on the 6-2. So Marks and Conor Koch. Ori, who I think he's been very, very unlucky. He has never been my super favorite lock, but let's be honest. He's got Arceus name on ahead of him, Franco Mostert, Lotte Jager, Eben Etzebeth. So I'm really glad that we're starting to build a little bit more depth at lock. And Dan Dupree, actually, what's Dan Dupree there for? Is it his brother that plays lock, or was he playing 8th man? Wherever. And then Herschel Lankies and Morné Steyn. So 6-2 split. Fossey is the future 15. Willems is the future Frans Steyn. Playing. So David, what you're basically saying is that Willems would be part of the bomb squad. So he can obviously cover multiple positions like Frans Steyn can, and Fossey will be our future 15. I 100% agree with you, David. Dan probably coming at 7. So obviously 7 in South Africa, guys, is blindside. Well, it's open side, but it's traditionally a blindside role. The rest of the world would call it a blindside. So yeah, I think Fossey is our next 15, and the guy is amazing. And if we can blood him slowly, if he can be blooded in a way that's play an Argentina game, maybe play the next Argentina game from a bench, maybe learn a bit more from Willie, and you probably miss one of the Australian games, and maybe come off the bench against New Zealand. I think that's the way that we should introduce Fossey international rugby. Gone are the days where we just, like, Frans Steyn was a machine when we threw him into the big bad arena when he was 19 or whatever. But Frans Steyn's Frans Steyn. He's a generational kind of player. But yeah, let's hope that Fossey gets blooded slowly. Sorry, guys. Okay, guys, I think I've taken up most of your time. I can see there were a lot fewer guys here this week. So yeah, I think everyone's having a little bit of a hangover from the Lions series. But thanks for everyone for actually tuning in. I think next week we'll break down the 2 games that happened over the weekend. We'll try compare the 4 sides. I think we'll compare, and maybe we'll try to do a prediction for where we're seeing it finishing off. Lions fan, by the way, I just wanted to congratulate the Boks on a deserved series win. Thanks, Fleshen. And I think, as opposed to the pundits out there, I think the fans actually respect other fans, and we congratulate teams that have won, and we move on, because I'm not here to make headlines, and I'm not here to do anything like that, and so yeah. But yeah, guys, thanks for everyone for joining. Join me next week again. If you like my channel, please subscribe, and if you like the video, please like the video. It actually does help with, especially when it's live, it does help with engagement if you hit the like button. It's something with the YouTube algorithm or something like that. Not that I'm super duper big into that. But yeah, guys, have an absolutely wonderful week. And, with COVID and everyone like that, please take care of yourself and try to stay safe. Chat soon. Cheers.